All right, so today is the day we do something out here. We are going to build something for Amber, my wife, that is going to offer, I don't know, some kind of seating area that will be able to have like triangle sort of shades over the top of them. They're kind of cool. So we have white, brown. And so she wants to create something here and then figure out what to do with the ground. I don't know exactly what to do yet. So she's been looking around on Facebook Marketplace trying to find something that's cheap. So today's project is to get the posts in and sort of some kind of, you know, aesthetic looking walls that would have shelves on the inside. And that's going to be like her, you know, little seating area with extra shade, so during the day, because we don't have any trees anymore on this property, as the sun comes over you can find shade there. So it shall be an interesting day. We will be out here working, trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. I think the biggest trick is going to be, where do I tie the shades to? So the shades, I'm actually going to lay them out on the ground and figure out how large they are, and then I'm aiming to set the posts deep enough into the ground that I would be able to anchor right to those posts, because I don't really want to tie into the garage or tie into the house. I don't really want to poke a bunch of holes in the house and the garage. I would rather drive either posts in the ground or even conduit, and paint that conduit brown so it matches the house, and just drive some like some thick conduit tubing down into the ground to be able to tie those two. But whatever it is you're tying to has to have enough rigidity to get that tension tight. So that's going to be the trick today. All right, so we are going to be working on this project today. So welcome to the ride. Oh, and I want to thank somebody, Jeremy. Thank you very much, because all the wood in this project, free, because you gave it to us. So thank you very much for that. Oh, and I'm also going to use some of this wood over here that we had from a project in Grosse Pointe. Believe it or not, that wood right there was the deck foundation for a deck in Grosse Pointe that was up for probably 10 years before we got it for free off of a website called FreeCycle, before we built a deck out of it and then just took the deck apart. So the wood we're using is like old wood, good wood. We can't leave you guys outside. The birds might poop on you. We have to go get concrete. All right, so what we have here is two posts that are in, if you can see, and it's gonna be kind of on a slight angle so that it matches sort of what used to be in the deck. So it'll be on a slight angle. Right now we've got those in, so now we need to level them. So I'm gonna grab my level, and we are gonna grab a couple of 2x4s, and we're gonna make this level. And then we'll get the other one level and run a rope across and make sure they're good to go. And then we'll pour concrete in, and we will throw some water on top of that. I never mix before I put in the hole, because it's just why. And then we'll let these start setting up while we dig the other post holes. So we'll show you time lapse. All right, it's hot out, so the sun coming in and out of the shade offers a bit of, well, need to hydrate. So every couple minutes, we should pop a squat in the shade and hydrate. All right, so picture this. You've got a wall that runs this way, a small wall here, and a small wall on the opposite side. And then in between that is seating covered by shade. You guys get the picture now? I realized earlier that I was explaining it, but maybe you just couldn't see that, so it's starting to take shape. And I can't expose for both the light over there and the light here. It's just too difficult. So, water time. All right, so we've got all 5 posts in and concreted level. Now we need to wait until tomorrow to mark off the tops where we want to cut everything so it's level. And so then we'll run our top board all the way around and then start putting our boards all the way down the wall, figure out our height for our counter on the inside, measure all that, put all that wood in there, just prep it for countertop wood, because I don't really have wood for that that I know of. Maybe I do. So that'll be just a counter that goes that whole distance, and then think through better how I'm gonna create those triangle supports for those shades. So I think what I'm gonna do is, like I said earlier, use conduit, drive that into the ground, grab a cap for that conduit so no water can get inside of it, seal that, and then concrete that down into the ground, and then I think what I'm gonna do is actually just attach maybe an eye bolt to it, and then I can just hook up the rope and tie it taut, or might put an eye bolt in it and then run that to the ground that's into an anchor, so I can tie it at the ground level instead of having to get on a ladder to go all the way up. So the rope from the triangle shade would go through the hoop and then down to the ground. And the cool part about it, that I think, is I might be able to create some downward force on the metal so that it's not all sideways force. So maybe we can figure something out there. Paint those brown so they match the house, the trim, and put the triangle shades up. And then the ground. Don't know what to do right now because it's just plain old dirt and mud, and weeds are popping up there like mad crazy. So I think first step is to spray some total ground kill. So it's just total vegetation kill. That will kill everything that's growing there. Doesn't matter what it is, grass, weeds, and then figure out if we can find something for free or next to free on Facebook Marketplace or something like that that would cover enough square footage. I actually need to figure out the square footage so that I can get that done. But it's been a very productive 2 days for my wife and I. We've been sweating together, working together, getting things accomplished. So feel good. Now it rained a little bit and blew the muggy out, and a cold front moved in behind that hot front, so it's actually really mild out here. Probably like 75 degrees, nice breeze, a little bit of dew in the air. You know how that smell is, right? Fresh rain. So I'm gonna enjoy that. So do me a favor, click like, subscribe, comment, and as we leave, check out this quick little B-roll of what we've accomplished thus far. Interrupt this B-roll to show you something that needs to be taken care of. This is pooling water. We just had a really torrential kind of rain, but I realized that this, because we used to have a deck here, this is lower than the rest of the ground. So I think I need to get a yard or two of dirt and put that on there and get that water to shed away from the house, or create a French drain, which is in the center here where it's the lowest, and I can see where the low spot is right there. I would poke a hole and then dig a trench out this way and use corrugated tube so the water would go into that area and then out underneath the ground across the yard. Now that would do two things. It would get rid of the water here, and then it would use that water to irrigate sort of the root systems of the grass. So really good option, and probably much cheaper than trying to get 2 or 3 yards of dirt in order to level all that out. Don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but that is something that needs to happen. The other thing that I'm a little worried about is the fact that we just put concrete in all these, and you can see that there is water sort of pooling up down there, so I'm not really sure if that's gonna affect anything or not, but hopefully it doesn't. A little soggy back here after that rain, so beginning to think maybe I need to do a bit more to level this out back here. All right, back to our regularly scheduled B-roll.